Come on, please. Yes! 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 Yes!
Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is episode number 31 of the 9-Dart Podcast, your one-stop shop for talking tungsten. And we are back after a big couple of weeks of darts. My name is Lorenzo and Josh. Hello, Josh. How are you?
Very good. Been a very big couple of weeks. And how do you do 31? I'm 15-8 myself.
Yes. I don't particularly like that double 16, double 8 part of the board, so I might try 11 for double 10 now at the moment. Double 10, I'm not too bad at hitting at the moment, or 7 double 12 maybe. But we've got a big show. It's been a big couple of weeks, but we need to start at the best story in darts all week. And it's not what happened at the Euro Tour a couple of weeks ago in Czechia. It's got nothing to do with the Great World Series of Darts finals. It's got nothing to do with anything on the JDC or on the WDF or anything like that, or Modus, or
nothing.
Even it's not even anything to do with Australian darts. Though we do have updates for you there as we're 2.5 weeks away from the
ANZ Premier League
beginning in Melbourne.
Can't
but
wait.
The best story of this week is the living legend himself, 71 years young, 71. Paul the Singapore Slinger Lim hit a 9-darter at the 1990 PDC World Championship. He is going to the Alexandra Palace for the first time in 4 years, Josh. 2022 edition was his last. This is absolutely fantastic. He's holding up the Asia qualified ticket, which is a sign for me that he's not going to pick the WDF
champion.
Lakeside edition. He's going to Ali Valley. Get in there.
So good. It's been a story that we've been watching all week. You've been watching it
I've been following
day
Dart
by day,
Connect
really.
all weekend last weekend.
Yes.
Just checking to see how he's doing on the Asian Tour Thursday, Friday with those big events. Sure, Hawthorn Adelaide was an interesting semi-final, but all I was checking on was, is Paul Lim mathematically safe? And he's got there extraordinary stuff.
Oh, so good. I can't wait to see him. We talked about off air who he'll play. We don't know, but hopefully it's a matchup where it won't be like
I want to see him win a match.
It'd be good to win a match.
It'd be awesome to see him play someone like one of the Lukes, but we want that in like second, third round sort of thing. First round, I want to see him take on someone who he can beat.
Yeah.
And he didn't have a particularly good weekend this weekend, but he has shown throughout this Asian Tour and on the WDF side of things, he can, put up competitive averages, and he's a slow player as a lot of the Asian players are. So if you get someone who sort of gets thrown out of their circadian rhythm, that might be something that could see of great benefit for Lim. And he's got the experience too. So Alexandra Palace won't phase him. We know that. So if he's playing a newcomer who's playing the first or second edition, that might change sort of things. But the possibilities are endless with what we could see from Paul Lim at this World Championship. And I know there's a lot of talk about the expanded field. We might get some dodgy matches. And sure, there might be a few of those. Maybe. But I think we're going to get some really interesting matches. I reckon we are going to see some upsets. I think we are going to see some seeds, even if they do win, sort of struggle in the opening rounds against so many fascinating international qualifiers who are there to prove that for themselves and for their region that they are worthy of a World Championship spot as this sport continues to grow.
Absolutely.
And I think Paul Lim is going to be at the forefront of that for Asia.
No doubt. Oh, it's an incredible success story for the Singaporean god, we can call him, I guess. It's incredible. So we can't wait to see him at Ali Pally. It's only, 2 months? 3 months away, really.
Yeah, it's something like that. I actually got a timer on this.
Feels closer than that.
It feels close.
Christmas is around the corner.
Yeah, 11th, 12th of December. It's the 11th, the 12th Australian time. I believe that it will kick off, and Luke Littler will be there in the opening session, as is tradition for the defending champ to start the tournament on opening night. It is. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to see what we can see from Paul Lim. But yeah, that was our first thoughts. Paul Lim is going to the Ali Pally, and we'll recap the Asian Championship and all that happened in Asia in the latest news. I've got a lot of chords here in this area, Josh, in the extra time studio here, so I've got to be careful. But in the main event of the last couple of weeks has been the World Series of Darts Finals, which happened over the weekend. The World Series is done. It's a thing that they do in darts to grow the game. So you sort of take it with a pinch of salt. But the finals was an interesting event. Amsterdam is a good place for darts. Yes, there was a bit of controversy with them cheering for Barney. But other than that, and MVG as well. But, that's what happens in sport, and the English get, the run of the mill most of the time through. So you got to throw them out of their comfort zone every once in a while on TV. And we got quite the great winner, which we'll get to later.
Yes.
But overall, I thought it was a pretty good tournament with some interesting moments, some absolutely awful darts as well, which we'll get to at a later. There was one particular second round match, which might be the worst darts match I've ever watched on TV. That was extraordinary. But overall, a good tournament. I think Amsterdam does prove itself to be a very good place for darts to be in. And no matter what goes forward with the calendar, and the calendar came out, so we'll talk about that later. Regardless of what the calendar exactly looks like, Amsterdam deserves a keen spot on the PDC calendar, I think, and Netherlands in general as well.
Absolutely, it's a great place. It's a great venue to watch darts as well. Some great games. Obviously, we had a couple outliers, some stinkers, but across the board, I reckon it was a pretty good 8 out of 10 personally. The standard was really good.
I forgot we used to do that in the early days of this podcast. Rate the weekend of darts out of 10 or the big event out of 10. And that's probably a fair enough rating. We got some good performances, some really bad performances. But overall, I enjoyed
a few
the
surprises as well.
The other big event that we're sort of going to gloss over in this show because it happened a couple of weeks ago, but it should be mentioned, was the Czech Darts Open happened in Prague, Czechia, and that was a fantastic event. The crowd there was absolutely excellent right through the week. Very strong Euro Tour, and one of the big surprises for me was see Jan van Veen beat Gerwen Price, who he'd never beaten before, 6-0. He whitewashed Gezi, who's been in impeccable form and made a great run to the semi-finals in Amsterdam last week. He's an interesting watch for me, Van Veen. He hasn't quite had perhaps the success he could have, and I think he's really a player that will benefit that really benefits when it's those sort of one game a day tournaments. But so the 1 day tournaments, like he won a Players Championship event earlier in the year, but he hasn't necessarily had the greatest success when you have to sort of back it up constantly. That consistency of his can struggle a little bit, but if it's only one match a day that you're playing, like at the Grand Prix, like at the Slam most of the time, not the last day, like at the Worlds, I think that's where we're going to see the match play, of course. I think that's where we're going to see his best sort of events. So that consistency is something we quite haven't seen him on those really long. He does have a Pro Tour win, one Players Championship 6 this year, beating James Wade, Mattis Rasmussen, and Luke Humphries in the quarter semi-final. So that was a good run there at Leicester. So Jan van Veen's another one that I'm so excited to see what he does, and I hope that he has a great run in tournaments going forward. He's definitely one of mine on he will win a big pot one day. I
think he will too.
So that was a very impressive win, a 6-0 win against Gerwen Price, which is hard in any format, particularly when Gezi was averaging 104 in that match. He didn't win a single leg.
Incredible.
There was also a couple of Players Championship events since we last spoke, and in one of them, Scott Williams just went tops against, I think that's Dom Taylor. There we go. Bang, bang. Well done, Scott Williams, who loves to sort of show off with those sort of finishes. That's very much in his personality, and we love anyone that goes tops. From Jose de Souza to Luke Littler to now Scott Williams.
One person that doesn't like it is Owen Binks, though. If you watch his TikToks and Instagram, he says, if you have 2 darts in hand, yes, obviously go tops, but if you have 120, you got to go the treble. Try and go the Shanghai treble 20. If you miss it, then you can go top. So say if you go the 20, then you can do it. But if you go stops, and the first dart is outside, then you're screwed.
Over.
Exactly.
It's over. Unless you're playing master out when you can finish on a treble.
Yeah, that's true.
But going back to the World Series of Darts finals, we have unconfirmed reports, Josh, that mighty Michael van Gerwen is back. And what a weekend it was.
Shane, you'll be happy.
And
he's an avid watcher of the show.
And it could have all easily uncrumbled early. And to be honest, I really liked going into this tournament, Wessel Nyman's opening round chances. He averaged 104.45, but MVG muscled out with 104.75 average to win 6-5. And then also had to go to a last leg to beat Rob Cross, but then was very emphatic, 106.45 average and a 10-5 win over the world number 1 Luke Humphries, beating Josh Rock, which is hard to do with the form he's in. Another great tournament for Rocky, who just keeps cementing himself as a Premier League pick, 11-6. There, and then doing what is very difficult to do, which is beat Luke Littler in a final, because if you do not beat Littler early, it's very hard to beat him as the tournament goes on. Littler had to battle his way through a couple of matches. The Whitlock one wasn't quite as easy we might have expected. Then he had Clayton and Ross Smith, who are quality players. Gerwen Price, we know what he's done. So he's had quite the run, Littler. And if he'd won the tournament, it would have been extremely impressive. But Michael getting the win 11-7. He was out averaged by Littler, but did the right things at the right time. It's good to see Michael back and winning. We had his daughter there in the crowd too. He's going to be competing with Stephen's son, Tobias, who gets more airtime at the World Championship. Probably depends on how far their dads go. But Yeah, it was just really great to see Michael back in form, and now we're starting to see that consistency. And that was the problem in the Premier League. He just wasn't that consistent. He'd win, he'd average 104 in his quarterfinal of the night. He'd get to the semi-final and average like 89. But all the way through, his worst average was that 98.37 in the final itself.
Yeah.
So 104, 106, 102, and 98.74 in the others. So we're finally, hopefully, seeing a bit more consistency from MVG, and that's great to see, because that's good for the sport, because he's an iconic name.
He is. Well, his prime was what we could say 2016, 15, or was it a fraction
somewhere
earlier?
between in that range, 15, 16, 17. It's in that range when he was winning basically every tournament on the planet.
But I think the last sort of 6 months, obviously, the Premier League, he won a few nights.
He didn't win a night. He didn't win a night. He didn't win a night.
It was one that didn't win. That's right.
Which meant that he missed out on finals night.
So he still went deep in some of those nights, though, but he couldn't get over the line. But this tournament was a really good example that he can play really well when he gets into his work.
Yeah.
And some fantastic performances. All the stats are on the next slide, by the way, of all the... Yeah, that's it.
There we go. There are the averages. I should have just flicked over there earlier.
Thanks to the red bit for this graphic. They do some fantastic graphics.
They do. So 2016 was the big one where he won every single ranking between the 2016 Masters, which actually isn't a ranking event at the time, through to the 2017 World Championship. He won every single ranking event. He won the Premier League. He won the World Series finals. The only guys that could beat him was Taylor and Lewis together in the final of the World Cup, and Taylor himself in the final of the inaugural edition of the Champions League, which was held that year. And if you look at Wikipedia do this very well with the performance timeline. So if you go and see, go to Mike Van Gogh's Wikipedia page and go to performance timeline, and it's color coded. So from 2007 to 2011, sort of 12 as well, it's mostly blue, signifying that he's making tournaments for the first time, but he's not going any deeper than the last 16. And then he picks up that inaugural title at the World Grand Prix in 2012, makes the final of the Slam and the Worlds as well. He lost that World Final to Phil Taylor. And then we begin to get into that green passage, and right through from 2015 and 16 in particular, it's almost all green, 17 as well. And then since about his third world title, 2019, it's sort of a bit of a mismatch. There's a few early exits in places, losing first round of the 2018 Worlds match play to Jeffrey Desvan, but picking up some titles. There's a lot more quarters and semis, a lot more losses in final. He's lost 3 world finals since his last world championship to Wright, Smith and Littler. So we can see the progression of his career, qualifying for events, winning a lot of events, and then, well, he's still winning some, but he's a bit all over the place. Yeah. So to pick up this title, his first sort of big TV title, I know the World Series
for a little bit,
it's not necessarily that big,
no.
But since he won that tournament 2 years ago, it's again, like I said, an important thing to see, an important thing for his confidence, even though it's not a ranking event, just to prove to himself that he is on the right track with the way he's. And he's still in the world's top 3, top 4.
Absolutely.
He'll probably be in the Premier League next year, barring him turning it down or something going horribly wrong. I think this is important for Michael, and important now as we get into major season.
Well, he was facing the media. If you go on the next slide, he had a comment to the media. "I'm not done yet, you understand? I love the game, and to me shows this means a lot." So he's saying that I'm still around, guys. Don't worry, I've been a fraction off here and there, but I'm back.
Well, we've not really completely forgotten about him, to be fair, because again, he's still in the world's top 4. He's still playing in the Premier League every week.
He's won
and the World
6
Series,
World Series in 10 years.
Yeah, the World Series Darts Finals and the Masters as well are events where, for whatever reason, particularly when the Masters was non-ranked, he just wins those tournaments verbatim. The Premier League, he loves winning a good non-ranking event, Michael, to strengthen him for the big events later in the year. Yeah. So well done, Van Gowen.
I said 2015-16, there you go. He won it 3 times in a row.
Yeah, he won it 3 times in a row.
A little personal dynasty period.
Yes, and 4 times in 5 years. Just missing out here. Yep. What happened in 2018, Michael? What happened there? World Series Finals 2018. Is that graphic even right? Oh, no, I'm looking at the World Cup, that's why. World Series Finals, lost in the quarterfinal. Who beat him in the quarterfinal? It's
Phil Taylor, maybe?
Phil Taylor had retired by this point.
Oh, yeah.
Barney. Barney.
Yeah.
Beat him on the way through. He lost away to end up winning that tournament. But, so very happy to see Michael winning again. Very happy to see that he still loves the sport. He does. That hasn't... that his drop in form in recent times hasn't completely lost that. So well done MVG for winning the World Series of Darts finals. Well done Luke Littler on having another great weekend and coming through some great opponents as well. It was good to see Ross Smith as well. Really, 106 average in that match against Luke Littler, be part of an extraordinary game. And Ross Smith, we know it's cliched at this point that he's a massive treble 20 hitter, but that is when he's doing that, that's when he's playing at his best.
Unstoppable.
So very well done, Ross Smith. And to see Whitlock, be competitive and average 88 against Luke Littler was encouraging signs as we move towards this ANZ Premier League that starts in 2.5 weeks.
Yes, obviously Littler wasn't his best, but good to see Whitlock's pinch 4 legs off the world champion. So that was pleasing to me. You can sort of get a bit of confidence going to the Premier League. I feel like knowing he's been okay. Obviously, back in New Zealand and Wollongong, he was all right. And then obviously
at the World Cup, he was not too bad.
World Cup, yeah.
Damon Henner was probably the slightly better player of the pair, but they got together to a quarter-final and could have so easily got to a semi-final had that match start got in. Nevertheless,
the more supporting role, but yeah, he was good in the World Cup. I thought he was all right. Sure, a little bit down. Obviously, Header was the main leader of it all, but he did some good stuff there. But I think this tournament will really help his confidence into the Premier League for sure.
Absolutely. So very well done there, beating. By the way, Johnny Tartar as well was competitive in that game.
Yeah, he was,
and it just got me thinking about the World Series. If these guys, if these names. These taller names like Ross Smith, who's not Premier League material, but just below that, not too far away, if the local guys get the chance to play guys like Ross Smith, we might see a bit more competitive matches and maybe even a few more wins for the local guys on the World Series, and I hope that is something that the PDC looks to very soon. Now, from the great to the disastrous, the biggest flop and the disappointing moment basically filed together in the same match. We've thrown them together. Cameron Menzies. What is wrong with your man? He is. That throw is too inconsistent.
Yep.
He is 95.36 average. Wasn't too bad. Was reasonable enough to beat Peter Wright. And then 66.853 dart average in a 6-1 loss to a Chris Dobey that couldn't hit his doubles. No. If Cameron Menzies was in some of those legs, he could have found himself winning this match. But yeah, his scoring is just it's just not where it needs to be so often for Cameron Menzies. And we seem to have this conversation again and again and again about Menzies.
I was going to say that, we don't want to be talking about this guy, as in a negative light. We don't want to be, because we know how good he is when he's on, but body language, again...
It's not a great time for Scottish darts at the moment. It must be noted. Gary Anderson doesn't want to play in any of these events. He turned down the right. He was offered this World Series final spot, didn't take it.
Yeah.
Peter Wright is on his last legs, unfortunately. Cameron Menzies is too inconsistent. And Menzies might overtake Wright at some point to be the number 2. So we're going to have Anderson and Menzies at the World Cup, which could be that'd
be an interesting combo.
That would be a ridiculous combo. Maybe we just need to fast track Laurie Mitchell off the JDC. Who keeps winning anything. He's a Scot. He's like their only hope at the moment, but he's probably still 2 or 3 years away. Maybe we'll just fast track him in already. But yeah, we seem to. Yeah, Cameron Menzies. We're having this conversation yet again. Needs to work on being more consistent. Needs to work on that snatchy action. I can't trust. And his counting as well is just the famous bust 180 at the World Match Play from a couple of months ago. But Dobey wasn't particularly fun at all. I don't even know what his. I should have got up his, and I will try and bring up his double percentage. But it wasn't great. He was finishing basically every leg of this tournament on double 1. It was
not a really good sign when you're throwing double 1.
Which is not ideal when you're finding yourself on double 1. It was not. It was not great. This particular match. It might just have been the worst match I've ever seen on television. It's certainly the most painful. We expect so much good stuff from these guys, and when they struggle to deliver, it's a bit of a
Debbie Downer.
It's a bit of a downer. It's a bit of a dagger to the heart, so to speak. There we go. Let's bring up
worst World Series of Darts finals game of all time. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, definitely worst average for Menzies. Doubling percentage for Chris Dobey, 17.6%, 6 of 34.
Oh.
And
it's like me.
11.1, 1 out of 9 for Menzies. So he's missed 28 darts at double. Chris Dobey in that match. It's only he's only played 7 legs, so he's averaging 4 missed darts a leg.
It's only first to 6.
And it's only a first to 6. Like 28 legs. If you only need like 21 in the right order to win the World Championship final. And he's 28. That is something.
It says flashbacks to the Joe Cullen versus Tricol game. Was it?
Yes.
A few weeks back when he.
When they mucked around on double one. It was like it was at least a 40 dart leg.
I think it was 40.
I think it was 40 or 41.
Yeah,
anyway, let's get into the great debates. Big time of a year, Josh. We know October. I did major season starting right at the World Grand Prix. We've got 2 more Euro Tours left for Grand Prix qualification. There are Pro Tours after that, but they don't count. They're beyond the cutoff. So who are the players to beat this major season, Josh? Who are we looking out for? And there are a few obvious names, but we'll try and throw about some other maybe dark horses if we can.
Sure. Yes, I've got a dark horse to talk about later. So I've got 3 names.
Yep.
One from the top, one from the sort of middle who's pushing, and one like a dark horse sort of thing.
Yep.
So my first pick is Josh Rock. I've talked about this guy before. We talked about him after the famous World Cup win for Northern Ireland and how he was fantastic. He made the semi-final against MVG on the weekend.
Semi-final at the match play.
Yeah, he had a 6-0 win against Noppet on the weekend, 107.36 average in that one. Runners up at a recent event. He's bound to win a major sometime soon. He's just so close. Yep. So close. He goes deep into so many tournaments. So he's definitely one to watch. I'm sure you can agree on that one too. Yep. You spoke about it. That's for sure. My next one is Jan van Veen.
Yes.
Spoken to him a little bit. He's been a bit up and down, but he has been showing some great form of late. He's obviously been strong on the development tour, as we know.
Yes.
And he's been making good runs as well. So I can see him pushing forward for sure. And then my last one. These guys want to play a championship event. He's sort of hiding, and his name is Cam Crabtree.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes, I'm going real dark horse, man.
I was when you said, I was going to Joe Cullen or someone like that.
No, I'm going like way down order of merit. He's been good on the floor. Again, won a play championship event. He's gone deep into these events, and he's shown he can win on the challenge tour as well. So that's what was sort of going in my head when I was picking him.
He's in Minehead, so
He's in
number
Minehead.
45 seed at the moment. And I tell you, there are a lot of big names like Humphreys, Michael Van Gerwen, Dimitri Vandenberg, not in Minehead at the moment.
No. I was just thinking, it's just something about him that I like. That's all.
Okay.
Something about him that I like.
That's a real wild card, and maybe one to look for a little bit further into
I'm
the
not saying
next
he's
few
going
months. But
win the World Championship or anything. I'm just saying he could be pushing for further spots in the order of merit.
I certainly agree with Rock and Van Veen. Some other guys I want to throw out. Johnny Clayton.
Yes,
he's surely got to be.
Agreed.
He's got to be one that's up there as one who could very
Premier
well
League
go
contender.
run. And if he wins a pot, he'd be great in the Premier League. He's a former champion in that particular tournament in 2020. Beloved player, great walk-on song. So
Johnny be good.
Johnny be good. Don't go. That's what he's on my head for the rest of the day. And I
know.
won't be complaining. So he is definitely one. He has said throughout his career that it's his favourite tournament, but he's never won it. Do we dream about Gary Anderson winning just one more before he inevitably backs it all up? He could be absolutely one that I could see making a deep run somewhere. Is there any other names further down? I really like what I've seen from Wessel Nyman recently, he's another one.
I was going to say him, but I was thinking you're going to say him, so I wouldn't say it twice.
Yeah, well done. Well, I knew you were going to go Rock, so I'll probably go with Clayton in this segment. But obviously, look, the Lukes will be hard to beat. Stephen, we know what he can do, and Gezi as well. Did you want to do? They did this on the Online Darts Live Lounge. So I thought we might try this here. Off the top of your head, who would win? We'll just do the next 4. We might leave the World Championships as we might want to see. Who are your predictions as of right now? 1:45 on the 17th of September 2025, local time in Melbourne. Who wins the Grand Prix, the Euros, the Slam, and the Players?
Jeez, you really put me there.
Yeah.
Well, we're
going to put through mine.
We're very short on time, so I'll think about this really quickly. I can see you think Littler would have to win one of them for sure.
Yep.
I can see Price winning one of them as well. Yep. I can see Josh Rock winning one as well.
Yep.
Come on, it has to be one of these next 4 events. And another one. Oh, you know what? Humphreys as well. I think I've already said him.
Yeah.
But twice.
They're sort of the big names. So I had for this. I like... So Humphreys is winning a lot of money, so he's going to be under pressure. But I think he's really proven himself in the double start format over recent times. So I like him at the Grand Prix.
$9. Come on, Brendan Dolan, 2013.
Well, it won't be Humphreys because he starts on double 16. But maybe someone like Littler or Bunting who like to start on tops might do that. one of either, probably leaning more towards Josh Rock because see Johnny Clayton as well at the Euros as a type of event that they might win. Stephen as well, you could even throw him, but I'll probably go Rocky. Littler in the Slam defending that particular title. That's a kind of event that I think he'll really enjoy, and I said as much actually last year before he won it. And look, we've got to throw in a Gerwen Price in there somewhere, and Minehead is sort of that type of event that Gezi might enjoy. Humphreys for the Grand Prix, Rocky for the Euros, Littler for the Slam, and Gerwen for the Players Finals.
Very similar. There you go. Yeah. JDC, what have you got this
JDC,
week?
I have the Phase 2 of the Foundation Tour has been going on, and 4 different guys won the 4 events over that particular most recent weekend. Ridley Ligas, Charlie Greensmith, Lewis Jones, and Alfie Armitage. There we go. I got there. 1 events. I don't have anything more, but you can check out. Go to juniordarts.com and you'll find that first article on the Foundation Tour wide open after 4 different players win on a thrilling weekend, published on the 7th of September, so sort of a week and a half ago now. But good to see that these JDC events are wide open, which is we want to see all these different names coming through. So a big shout out to all of them. They're sort of a combined future star this week. In the latest news,
this is breaking news, right?
This was only today, so we've actually beaten the live lounge to this and a lot of other podcasts that might record earlier in the week. We record middle of the week, so the DRA came out of their shell to finally do a thing, and that was to hand down the law to Rusty Jake Rodriguez, not to be confused with Roby John, who has been suspended for failing a drug test, which is not what you want to hear, but also in a way something you want to hear, because as I've said on this podcast before, if your sport hasn't found any cases of drug use in the last few years, it's not because it hasn't happened, it's because you haven't found them, more likely than not. So it was Players Championship 24. Rusty Rodriguez failed a drug test. Chairman of DRA suspended Rodriguez from competing in DRA government events. That's basically everything until the conclusion of the investigation. So we don't know anything in terms of a penalty or in terms of a substance or anything like that.
Fine or anything. We don't know.
We don't know what happened there.
We'll keep you updated,
so we will keep up to date with that particular story.
Very interesting emerging story.
So so we'll see. Now, let me actually, before, I didn't even think to do this. Where is Rusty Jake's not in the Players Championship events, and because of that, I don't think he's in the Worlds either. No, he's well outside on both qualification methods, the Pro Tour or the World Championship. So that's not going to probably have too much of an effect on like the rest of the makeup of the field, more likely than not. Now, I should have actually started the show with a little bit of an apology, Josh. In our last episode, I said that the African Darts qualifier was happening on September the 8th. What I did was I was too trusting in the PDC social media graphics team. It's on September the 27th and 28th.
Wow, that's a bit far from the 8th.
So there's a bit of a gap. They've got to put in an extra 2. So that's happening not this coming weekend, next weekend as we record this. So we look forward to that. But the only real updates to this is the Asian tour, which I'll get to in a moment. But I just wanted to shout that out, so we'll get that in a moment. It was good to see Luke Humphreys, someone who I was a little bit worried with his form, to be completely honest. But it was great to see him pick up a Euro Tour title there in Czechia in that great week. We don't really have the time to go through that too much in depth with the week we just had, but he beat Van Dyvenbode, Schindler, Neumann again in a close match, and Neumann had a great chance there to beat him, but just didn't quite come through. Comfortable win over James Wade. Humphreys and Wade just keep running into each other.
They do.
And Rocky again making a final event. The only thing with Rocky about his chances of actually winning event is, other than he's getting to a lot of semi-finals and finals at the moment in those singles events. Obviously won the World Cup of Darts, but semi-final at the UK Open and at the World Match Play this year, and at Euro Tour events, 4, 5 semi-finals, Euro Tour events, 10 and 11 finals. So he's getting deep in tournaments, but Luke Humphreys did that sort of thing. He got to finals, which turned on the sort of Euro Tour and Pro Tour, which turned into Euro Tour titles, which turned into major titles, which turned into a World Championship. So so we can see sort of a similar pattern emerging here for Josh Rock there, but Luke Humphreys won in Czechia on the Euro Tour. Gerwen Price and Joe Cullen, of all people, won a Pro Tour event. No surprise with Gerwen Price with his form, but Joe Cullen really needed that.
He did.
And he's gone up 3 places in the world rankings as a result to 26 as well. So very important there for Callan in particular to just feel a bit more confident with his form at the moment. He hasn't got too much prize money to defend at the moment, but not having been in the greatest amount of form, he's got some work to do. But he is actually defending semi-final money at the World Grand Prix, so he needs to make sure that he's in a top-notch form going into that tournament. He's firmly in qualification at the moment for that 11th on the Pro Tour World Grand Prix race.
Indeed.
Right, let's go to the Asian Tour and confirm what we already mentioned. Paul Lim squeezing in there, but as it turns out, the sort of nervousness that I sort of had, many others would have had, many players would have had over 6th and 7th didn't really materialise. But anyway, Toilo, Saki, Alagan, Azumoto and Lim were top 5 on the Asian Tour Order of Merit through the 28 events that were held this year, putting them through to Alexandra Palace. Beyond events 27-28, there were a couple days on 13th to 14th September. We had the Asian Championship. Yep. Paul Lim making a semi-final. There was 5-2 down against Toilo. Brought it back to 5-5. Went down in a sudden death decider. I was cheering for Lim because that would have put him through to the Grand Slam in Wolverhampton, which would have been bananas. Could you imagine some of the groups we could have seen with him in there? Yeah, I know. Not close. To be. Lawrence Logan will take that place. He won the tournament 7-4 win over Alexis Toilo. He loves winning that sort of event. So that means Manlok Lung, who finished 6th, and Palin Labreda, who finished 7th on the Asian Tour Order of Merit, will get in now because those two other guys, Toilo and Alagan, finished ahead of them, will get in off this system, and then it's the next 5 off the rest. So as it ends, I think we've got probably the 7 best players in Asia: Toilo, Saki, Alagan, Azumoto, Lim, Alung and Nabreda coming in. I mean, there's still quality players who missed out, guys like Lockie and Lee and Christian Perez. It was good to see Mikuru Suzuki as well finish 30th there and actually made the last 16 on the Asian Tour, lost to Toilo. But it was good to see her make a decent run on the Asian Tour and this Asian Championship this year. Speaking of the Grand Slam, so that puts Alagan in of that. So we've got Littler, Humphreys, Van Gerwen, Rock, Gurney, Lukeman, Wade, Clayton, Price in the Grand Slam properly, or confirmed to be. Van Veen, Van der Velde, Ashton, Greaves, and Luggan are off the affiliate qualifiers, additional qualifiers. Yep. I'm pretty sure. I sort of don't want to say this and end up with egg on my face, but I'm pretty sure with the amount of spots that are available left and the amount of spots you need to take, I'm pretty sure Stephen Bunting is basically there, having won a Eurotour event earlier the year and being the highest ranked guy who isn't in. So I'm pretty sure we can say Stephen Bunting won't need to worry about the tour card qualifier.
Hopefully.
I'm pretty sure he's basically guaranteed to make the Grand Slam as well, which is great.
That'd be pleasing.
That's what certainly I like to hear. The 2026 calendar is out, and to be honest, I was hoping it would be a little bit more big changes to the big tournaments. I was hoping something like Las Vegas has got the Grand Slam,
Melbourne Darts Masters,
Melbourne gets the World Cup, or something big like that. We're going to Scotland for the Players Championship finals or something big. Not really, not for the majors at least.
No. That's funny.
But we do have, confirmation of something we already knew. Antwerp gets the Premier League night 2 there on February the 12th. It replaces the Exeter event. So Cardiff is now, I think it's Cardiff I'm pretty sure it's Cardiff is the lead into the UK Open, which will be a bit of a struggle. They could probably make the argument that you should probably take the Thursday off before the start of the UK Open, so guys can just focus on that, get down there at a good time, that sort of thing. Because with the Thursday, the previous night, it all gets a bit weird, and they're not going to play the darts on the Wednesday because that'll clash with the Champions League. And darts is big at the moment, but it's not beating European soccer.
That's right.
In the UK at the moment. So that's why the Premier League is fixtured on a Thursday night, which ends up being a very good Friday morning here.
Aussie time.
But the Antwerp Premier League night is in. We're going to get 15 Euro tours. Well, I should say Central Euro tours. This was something I found off the socials.
Nice graphic.
It's a very nice graphic. That's where all the Euro tours are happening this year. Josh, they're all connected to each other, with the exception of, I think that's Liechtenstein.
Not sure.
Everything in there is going to be, that's Liechtenstein. Luxembourg's up there. Yeah, so that's a little Liechtenstein doesn't get an event, but we do have a Poland Euro Tour, which is great.
That's good.
And also a Euro Tour, and I don't think anyone was expecting this, Bratislava, Slovakia. Didn't you have a World Series event? No, you just get thrown in there. We lose a couple of German Euro Tours, most notably Hildesheim. It'll be interesting to see if it's sort of a rotational thing or if these are the ones we get. We're down to 5 in Germany, which is good, though I'd still prefer one less. Yeah, so the Euro Tour is really getting very much into that sort of central European market. Excuse me?
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely.
At the moment?
Absolutely. No, it's some really good good places to have it. I mean, obviously, it's pretty similar.
I'm actually really interested in the World Series at the moment.
Yep.
The calendar always gets released for that a little bit later. It looks like that the Dutch event is not going to be happening. The sort of sponsors sort of pulled out of that one. Thank goodness for that. It was a glorified Euro Tour. With Poland getting a Euro Tour event, does that change that sort of thing? Do they try and bring in a second one in North America or something like that, sort of twin the US and Canada like we do with Australia and New Zealand? It should be interesting. I'm looking forward to see what they do with this World Series calendar, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we'll find out when it comes.
Yes. You actually put this in last week preparing for this. You wanted to talk a little bit about the PDC Top 100 Order of Merit Winners Rankings ladder, whatever they call it now.
Yeah, ladder ranking. Exactly. So, yeah, I've highlighted. So, have a look at the arrows on your screen. I've got Ross Smith. He's been big on the up. So, the start of 25, he was ranked 21st. He was 14th, and now he's 13th. So, he's gone up again. Chizzy, he started 6th. He's gone 13th, and now he's 14th. So, he's sliding down a little bit. Jermaine Watamina, he continues to go up. He was 35, then 26, now 25. Who else have I got? That's really about it.
There's a few others. The Sousa continues to slide, which I said he needed a big year, and I'm not surprised that he hasn't really had one. Nico Springer's another one that just continues to look very strong as well. So that's the PDC Top 100 at the moment. The ANZ Premier League lineup is so close. Tim Pusey is going to be at the World Championship because he finished top of that ADA Order of Merit. Raymond Smith also looks like he'll be there. I thought maybe he might turn that sort of thing down, but it looks like by all accounts he'll be there. Johnny Tata's currently in position on the DPNZ Order of Merit, and that's next weekend or the weekend after will be that final event, and there'll be a DPNZ playoff to determine that final spot. We've got Whitlock, Kamito, Kling, Bailey, Pusey, Smith, Tata in best position in New Zealand, and another one there as well. Be interesting to see, particularly if Kamito or Tim Pusey win the Premier League, or go to the next guy on that Order of Merit. We might actually drop a few places on the ADA because we know Raymond Smith isn't going to the PDC. So that will be an interesting one to watch. Carl Wilkinson won week 1 of Series 12 at the Modus back a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, so Series 12 starts after Jeff Smith won Series 11, £25,000 and ADC spot, as we know. So he won 4-1 over Brian Rahman. Pretty good game. Was on his doubles, good average, and he's through. But this is the man I want to speak about of week 2, Keegan Brown. He's a name we've heard about.
Yes.
Right, in other sort of tours. He came on a Modus and he won. And look at the celebration of the guy, I got to say. Incredible. A very good final against Jimmy Van Schie. 4-2 in that encounter there. Very good.
He won back in 2014. He won the PDC World Youth Championship, Keegan Brown. So he won.
There you go.
It's sort of been waiting for a while in the wings of someone. Oh yeah, he might be someone who could do damage. But other than making quarterfinal at the Grand Slam in 2014 and at the quarterfinals of the World Series finals in 2023, hasn't really done anything of note on the PDC side of things. He did make a couple of semi-finals on the Euro Tour, and he's won one Players Championship event, 2022 PC23. But other than that, nothing too big there.
Hit a monster 152 checkout as well.
Yes, he did.
4 out of 7. Great sportsmanship. I want to highlight this here. Look at Jimmy Van Schie giving him a massive hug after the end of the game. That's what we love to see in darts. So very well played. And he had an emotional interview with Henry Deacon, I got to say. He said he didn't think he'd win anything again. His form, his sort of mental state was a bit off, but it was so good to see him win. So he'll go to Champions Week, £5,000 to his pockets. So love that. We are now in week 3, and Richie Howson headlines it. Good to see Nathan Potter having a very impressive Rising Stars week. He makes
with Gemma Hayter as well in Group B. He's playing really well and is in good position as well to qualify for the Worlds. Neil Duff as well is a guy I like to watch.
Yes. Banksy as well.
Group A.
Young Gun is back.
And Banksy too, who's a regular at the Modus.
He is. And Howson is absolutely flying. 10-0.
10 out of 10. so far for Howson.
I think the record's 14 out of 15. I don't think there's ever been a perfect slate.
Group A.
A perfect Group A, yes. So maybe this will be the day. We'll find out.
That'll be a story. That'll be a crazy moment.
It would be. If it is, we'll put that in. We'll show some highlights. So he is on 20, Atkins 14, and Neil Duff 12 to round out the top 3.
Yep. So there we are. So we're in there. Double Trouble 4 is coming up as the last special week, and then the rest of Series 12 before the ADC Worlds. Well, you say nothing too special. This was actually not too bad of a game. No. I thought we started quite well.
You started very well, I've got to say.
And then sort of worked down. 28 dot leg, which I think was actually wrong. I think it was a $27. But I do want to highlight this 111 highest score. That was a 131 out of 10.
Good.
Treble 17, tops. And the first one went in the tops. And I was so excited. And then, to be honest, I nearly bust my score by hitting the treble. I pulled that that last start so low. But that would have been amazing. Yeah, but well done, Josh. Another win over the best of 5. And we're going to see a little bit more of you. I was actually going to mention to you this sort of thing off air, that we should try and look to going into these sort of things.
Yes.
The Darts Down Under Online League.
I'm pretty sure I should send this to you at some point. Maybe not.
I think you have, but I'm not going to get involved in the intermediate.
So it was a Facebook group that I saw related to, I think it was just some Aussie darts fan page. So Darts Down Under, JP does a fantastic job. So I'll be taking part in the Division 2 fixture. So it's 10 straight weeks. You play a best of 10. You record your best of 10 leagues. I've never played a best of 10 before.
How are you going to do?
Best of 10. So I'm going to prioritize.
So that's first to 6 with the potential of a 5-5 draw.
Yes. And so it's
like the old Premier League, which is best of 12.
Yes, so a win is 2 points, a draw is 1 point, and a loss is 0, obviously. So very exciting, cool graphic. I'm playing Scott Hay this week, so I'm going to play that tomorrow.
Presumably that's through Dark Counter.
Dark Counter, yeah. So I will put the scores up when we play. Never played best of 10 before.
I'm going to see how
an hour and a half to. I'm
going to see how you go there, because
I'll be very keen to see how I
go. Over our best of 5, you're sort of like 50 average, but you might. I don't know. You could really rise to the occasion or struggle over 10 legs. So we will see. Hungarian Darts Trophies coming up this weekend on the Euro Tour in Budapest. Good to see the Euro Tour go to places that aren't Germany.
Yep.
That wasn't last episode. The last episode was the MVG against Luke Littler, fantastic Euro Tour event in Czechia. That ended up with Luke Littler winning 6-1 despite MVG averaging. It was the highest losing average ever seen on the Euro Tour by MVG. It was ridiculous. But this week, MVG Peter Wright. The final of the 2016 World Series of Darts final.
MVG's heroics on the week and had to bring him in. World Series of Darts final, best of 21 legs. They go head to head. An incredible game in Glasgow. Both players start very strong. Levels up at 4-4 after tops from MVG. Now, there's a certain period of time, the 12th and the 16th leg, very critical. MVG breaks the game open. 4 out of the 5 legs he won with 2 breaks of throw.
Ooh.
He goes within 1 leg of the match. Will he win it, or will Snakebite claw back? We'll find out next week. That's one to watch. 45 minutes, that one.
Alrighty, thank you very much for listening to episode 31 of the 9 Dart podcast. Thoroughly enjoyed this one. Paul Lim in the Ali Pally was the big highlight. Make sure you stay tuned and make sure to follow us on all our platforms, because with the ANZ Premier League coming up, we're going to be your number 1 destination for Australian darts. It's going to be the biggest 2 months ever seen in this country for this sport, this ANZ Premier League. We're going to be there in Melbourne come hell or high water, and I'm just looking forward to see
lots of interviews, lots of content for sure.
Yeah, lots of analysis, maybe a few articles in there as well. We'll see exactly what we're doing, but I'm looking forward to this ANZ Premier League. I'm looking forward to this major season in darts.
Absolutely.
This is absolutely fantastic.
This is where you want to be.
Yes, so if you're interested in how the sport is going in Australia and New Zealand, this is the place to go with the ANZ Premier League coming up.
Yep.
Alrighty. Thank you very much, Josh.
Pleasure as always.
And
very good fun.
We'll hopefully speak again next week as we build towards World Grand Prix. Only like 3 weeks away, 2.5 weeks to the start of the ANZ Premier League, and way more interesting as well, affiliate tour action as well. So that's going to be such a brilliant next few months coming up in darts. It's going to be so good.
Thank you very much.
This has been the 9 Dart Podcast.